Hey everybody, welcome to the show that will never like Swedish fish. That's right, it's 5 minutes, you won't get back. A little show where we waste 5 minutes of your time, but as always, just remember, 5 minutes doesn't start until we say it does. I'm Brian.
I'm Heather, and I kind of like Swedish fish.
Horrible.
Anyway, did you know that according to the Google, which has not been
Which is
fact-checked,
always 100% accurate.
that October, has got octo in it, which of course means 8. But it used to be in the Roman calendar the 8th month. Did you know that?
No, because
Okay,
it's the 10th month, but now it's the 8th month.
No,
it was the
now-
8th month. Right.
In the Roman calendar, it was the 8th month. Now it's the 10th month because when they did the Julian calendar reformation, they added January and February, which pushed it back to number 10.
So basically, October got bumped for a couple other months.
It did, but it also always ends on the same day of the week as the last day in October always ends on the same day of the week as the last day in February.
I need a map to show me what that means, but I trust you. And since the Google said it,
Yeah,
I trust it.
of course. So anyway, my calendars agreed with that, so I looked back 3, but anyway, so it's the end of October, and we've talked about a lot of things in the past on 5 Minutes You Won't Get Back about scary things, creepy things, Halloweenish things. We talked about a lot of different things. We've covered topics, me living in a haunted place for a couple of years when I was little, but there's been one story that in our family has been revisited multiple times. Brian really likes to share, but we have new information. Something new has come to light. So
Yes.
just for those of you that don't want to scroll back through all of the past 5 minutes you won't get back to find the one that we're talking about, go ahead, just briefly get them up to speed.
So, here's a scary story. And like I said, you've heard it before. I'm going to recap it, but we're going to do it again. It's a scary story. So do we need to start the 5-minute clock, by the way?
Oh, that's right.
I know we haven't done one of these in over a year, and maybe we'll do another one next year. Who knows? This might be the last one we ever do. You never know how this goes.
We had a request. We had one request. One request. You know who you are when you watch this, because you'll see it.
And they're like, can you guys do another 5 minutes you won't get back? And
yeah. It was recently found.
The people that have watched the show are like, why did they ask
like,
for this? Well, they asked for this and we're doing it.
She was like, yeah, so
let's start this 5 minutes.
I'm not going to name names, but you know who you are.
We don't want to make this 13 minutes.
All right, start. Boom.
Okay, so hide your kids. Don't watch this in the dark. This will be nightmarish. This will leave scars on you, as it did me. This is going back to one of the worst situations of my life. It's Halloween. I forgot how old I was. 6, 5, 4. Anyways, I apologize once again if you've heard this story, but this was the year I wanted to be Spider-Man as a child. Spider-Man. I worshipped him, not as a god, mind you, but I really liked Spider-Man. And I just discovered Spider-Man. He was the coolest thing on the planet. And to me, still is. Anyway, I wanted to be Spider-Man. My mom always made my costumes. So, we went to Kmart. For those of you that remember what Kmart is, and this is definitely going over 5 minutes. We went to Kmart, and me and my mom had separated, and I was looking at costumes. Why? And back in the day when you were that young, your mom would leave you alone in the store. What a different world.
No, that's a whole nother. That's a whole nother story.
Anyway,
yeah.
So I was left to go look, and while I was in the costume department, there was a Spider-Man kid's costume hanging from the ceiling, I think, or hanging up, and I was like, that's Spider-Man. That's what I want to be, Spider-Man. And my mom wasn't around, and I ran back to find my mom. I'm like, let's go. Like, I want to be Spider-Man. She's like, okay. And I'm like, I want to show you what Spider-Man looks like. My mom was like, I know what Spider-Man looks like. I'm like, Mom, I still want to show you. I want to be, just 100% sure you know what Spider-Man looks like. No, I know what Spider-Man looks like. So she didn't go and look at the costume. We did buy the plastic face mask part of it, which wasn't next to the costume, which would have been helpful in this situation. You might see where I'm going. So anyways, my mom made my costume as a young 4, 5, or 6-year-old. Did I pay attention to what my mom was doing? No. I've learned my lesson, and I always check up on my parent now. Anyway, so she was making the costume, And then Halloween came up, and then she presented the Spider-Man costume. And before I show the picture, let me try
Let's
to
just describe
let me try
it.
to
Like,
describe this.
because they didn't know. They didn't know there was. Anyway,
So
go
anyways, it wasn't Spider-Man.
No.
It wasn't Spider-Man at all. It was the red mask, the Spider-Man mask, green paper mache strands, like a rainfall of green paper mache, and to top it all off, the most awesome thing that adds the oomph to this costume that it needed to be, silver foil antennas, because we all know when you see a spider, they all have silver foil antennas.
So we've lived with this description. I mean, I think at one year
And she
I
hadn't
tried to draw a picture.
Right, and she had never
Okay.
seen the actual picture, so
Brian has described this, and you think, really? Come on. I know it was a few years ago. It was, and he talks about these green ribbons. He always says no, and it's like this? No. It was terrible. It was these green, and you just can't picture it because, it's, I don't know.
But anyway, let's pause now. And for the first time, regardless, for the first time, I will now show you the picture, insert photo here. Yes, that was me. And if you notice, and they're very blurry, if you look into my eyes, you see a child that has suddenly realized he has peaked the day before, and everything from this point in his life will be downhill. He is miserable. He doesn't know what to do with his life. He's like, okay, I'm done. And that's all he has. Those dark eyes of, this is it.
Disappointment.
And also the thought that was running through my mind is, now I have to go out in public with this on. And I did. And as I walked through, when you picture Halloween, you feel the cold breeze and the leaves blowing, and there's a silence to Halloween with the kids talking and stuff. And I remember it was like a funeral dirge to me. It's like I'm walking and I just feel it. I feel the green paper mache blowing, slapping me in the face, and I'm like, what is that green stuff? Feeling the bob of my silver foil antennas, thinking, dear God, this is horrible. And then, of course, you'd go up to the door, right? And my mom would stay on the sidewalk. She would do that anyway, probably from sheer embarrassment, in my opinion. She didn't even know it yet. I'd go up to the door, and every time, these nice little ladies are giving my candy to me, and they're being generous, and I know why. They're feeling bad for me. We've already passed the 5 minutes. We're going to keep going. Knock that thing off.
Go ahead, keep
Are you
talking.
okay?
Yeah.
Anyway, so I'd go. The little ladies would look at me. They give me the chocolate, the jujubes, the whatever they had. And then they look at me, and I was real little, right? I was a little guy. And they're like, oh, you're so cute. And then came the question, what are you? And I would look up in my remorseful eyes, and I would just say, I don't know. And then they would look at me a little confused, like, oh, this poor boy doesn't even know what he is. And then they would pat me on the head and send me about my merry way. And I would walk back down the sidewalk, driveway, shaking my head, a tear running down my eye, each house. The only thing I could think of telling people was, I'm a Christmas ornament. You know what? Next year, they're going to have an ornament of me. Put it on your tree, folks. It'll be great.
I bet you could buy one at Target.
So Brian's Spider-Man costume at Target as an ornament. And let me drop this last picture in because, usually at Halloween, you get back and you're like, back in the day, you're like dumping all the candy out. You're like, what did I get? If you look at this picture, put it in here, I could care less what I got. I am sitting there in utter shock and need of a counselor. At least 3 counselors to talk me through what just happened. It's abysmal. I'm sitting there just staring at the wall going, is this over? What am I gonna do next year? Will I be able to navigate this properly? Will the gods of Halloween come down and give me a better costume? Maybe I should go with simple, like, you know what? I just want to be me. Don't give me a costume because it's really going to be screwed up. So anyways, that's a picture of that. So no matter how bad your Halloween is, no matter what happens in life, steal a screenshot of the picture I posted earlier and just look at that and know, hey, life is definitely better than that. And that's my story. So, kiddies, that's your Halloween
With
story for
pictures.
this year with pictures. I'm sorry you had to see that. I will never forget that. In fact, I hope when I die that is a picture on the memory board, right in the center of me. And there's another story about a dolphin that I'll tell about maybe at some point. But yeah, Spider-Man. And I've never dressed. I do have an actual full Spider-Man costume that I keep in a drawer. I never get rid of it because I'm not gonna wear leotards. Look, I'm in my 50s. I'm not putting leotards on. Let's be realistic. But anyway, I have a Spider-Man outfit, and I open the drawer occasionally and go, huh, that's what I look like. That's what it's supposed to look like. And then I take a picture of it, and I text it to my mom as a reminder. So do you have anything else to share?
No.
I got to recover from that story. Anyway, thanks for listening to my story. Hope you guys have a great Halloween. Maybe we'll do one of these in another year, and I'll tell my story again as a reminder. But yeah, so I'm Brian.
I'm Heather.
And just remember, it isn't a great day until we wasted 5 minutes of your time. And we'll see you next year. Maybe next week. Maybe next month. You know who you are.
Who knows?
I'm done. Bye, Svengoolie.